We rejoin our friend and semi-hero Roger Wilco as he rockets back toward his home planet Xenon, which he hasn't seen since Space Quest 2. Having successfully rescued those two ingrates from Andromeda, he decides a pit stop on Magmethius is in order. During the descent to this cosmic canteen, he is unaware of the interest that has been generated regarding his fate.
We have confirmation of his position, Master.
Off to Magmethius with you, then. It is time for Wilco to meet the fate which I have crafted for him.
As our story begins, we find the aluminum mallard parked outside a seedy spaceport bar. We join Roger as he relates one of his greatly exaggerated tales of adventure. The aliens are only too happy to listen, as long as Roger is by.
See, there was this deadly root monster, a ferocious swamp creature, and a Labion terror beast to contend with. Then I had to outsmart another of Vohaul's gorillas and steal the shuttle so I could penetrate the asphalt.
Are you Roger Wilco?
Yeah.
Please come with me.
Hello, Roger Wilco. Surprised to see an old friend? You have no idea how special this moment is for me. This is no chance encounter, I can assure you. I have this one loose end to tie up before I begin my reign as the supreme being of all that exists. I do not like to lose. You are a blemish on what would otherwise be a perfect record of domination, terror, and invincibility. Besides, I'm still a bit miffed about that asteroid deal in Space Quest 2. Anyway, to relieve the pain of my humiliation and to prevent you from being a pain in my future, you must die. It's been nice seeing you one last time. Then, do the dirty deed.
You go left and split them up. Mr. Wilco, follow me and do exactly as I say. Let's move!
Hey, I want to know what the...
Listen, I can't explain it all to you now. They've got a beat on our coordinates. We've got to move fast. We gotta do this fast. Shield your eyes! Jump into the time rip! Do it now! You've got to! If I take the time to explain, we're both parking lot pizza. You'll understand soon.
Now where am I? You wonder aloud to non-existent auditory organs. This place sure looks homey. Hey, wait! This looks just like Xenon. It is Xenon! It's really a pile. Along with the changes induced by an armed conflict, the city looks different, more modern, with a heavy dash of post-disaster seasoning. Casually glancing at the status line, you happen to notice that you're in Space Quest 12. What's happened? Who was that guy with the overdeveloped hairdryer? Why did you let yourself be talked into jumping into some strange shimmering hole? Why are you talking to yourself? These incredibly intriguing questions will quickly be forgotten with barely an electron stirred in that well-armored orb atop your shoulders. You are in the southern area of a rare clearing in this destroyed cityscape. Your home, as you remember it, does not exist in this period of time. A huge boil of a structure clogs the horizon. The large structure in the background captures your curiosity. A battered and boarded storefront shows the wear and tear a little war can have on it. It's a lightweight, worn piece of rope. You take the small, frayed, useless-looking length of rope. A brightly colored mechanical hair wanders about. There's a sweet, fruity odor coming from the building.
Wild berry.
This is the only form of actual life that you've seen here. Its clothes are tattered, and a grotesque metal contraption is clamped to its head, which serves to hold the eyelids permanently open. A crummy piece of rope. That was without a doubt one of the finest examples of bunny snatching I've ever seen. The stress placed on the rope during the bunny snatching was too much. You cast the useless fibers aside. You extract the portable power pellet from the back of the bunny's polyplastoid torso. A darn cute bunny. A battery. This sealed, battered building is the last one standing in the southwestern area. A quick inspection reveals nothing of interest other than a glove box. It looks like a genuine Pocket Pal portable terminal. After taking a quick look around to reassure yourself that the place is as dead as it looks, you snitch the Pocket Pal laptop. You plug the mobile power cylinder into the laptop. Your Pocket Pal now has power. Now all you need is a place to use it. The structural warpage and the enormous gaping hole indicate a violent end for this corroding battle machine. Surprisingly, no one has taken this small, innocuous-looking piece of unstable ordnance. Okay, you now have the unstable ordnance. Remember, it was your idea. Good luck. A piece of unstable ordnance. The old Bank of Xenon building held up fairly well. Too bad. They turned Roger down for a loan once. In the distance, the skeletal remains of once proud structures jut weakly into the chemical-laden atmosphere. You are at the northern boundary of a clearing in the midst of a battle-scarred city. An ominous-looking building is the only thing in sight which might contain life. The large structure in the background captures your curiosity. A featureless, dirty white structure fills space to the east. I think we're looking at your basic surface transportation intersection. A large void indicates the absence of any dense matter. This grate has crud, gunk, and sludge built up around the edges. You can see through the grate, but can't make anything out. Droid or death. A very wise choice. Carefully placing the unstable ordnance back inside the tank, you decide some things are better left alone. You've reached the sewer maintenance office. Apparently this office has been long abandoned. Your janitorial instincts urge you to sweep up and do a little dusting, but you suppress those urges and concentrate on the task at hand. The strange little pedestal has wires running between it and the wall. It's an empty jar with a lid, neither of which does anything entertaining. It's just an average, old-fashioned desk blotter. You take the jar into custody. Ah, a button. Perhaps I'll give it a press.
Data entry 22795. This message is to whomever may be so fortunate as to find it. I am Professor Lloyd, lead designer of the Xenon supercomputer project, the ultimate in artificial intelligence. The computer was designed to enhance our lives, but instead ended up being the ruin of us all. We made the mistake of tying it into the most important facets of our existence here on Xenon, including our weather control and defense systems. It seemed like a sound idea at the time, and all proceeded well for about 3 years. It was around then that a deep space salvage operation recovered what appeared to be some sort of antiquated data storage unit contained in a flimsy cardboard box on which the words "Leisure Suit Larry" were imprinted. On its back was the picture of a not particularly wholesome gentleman, but that's another story. My counterparts exhibited shameful behavior as they tore open the box to get at its contents. I could not understand the commotion it generated. The data was uploaded into the supercomputer for analysis. As a result, a crippling virus spread through the machine like a bad social disease. All control of the computer was lost. All screens went blank. Then these words were displayed by the monitors and uttered by the vocal outputs. Wilco must pay. From that day forth, the possessed computer waged war on the inhabitants of Xenon, using our own weapons against us. Some managed to escape to other planets. Those of us who remained stayed to fight the machines and robots under its control. It was a bloody war. Those of us that were not killed were taken captive and modified. These cyborgs infiltrated the loyal ranks of resistance, rooting out almost all of our hiding places and exposing us to the mechanical menace. Some of these poor souls still wander the streets. As of this recording, we are down to only a handful of rebels. My health is deteriorating rapidly. To make matters worse, I've just learned that the computer has unraveled the mysteries of time travel. I've sent my 2 best men to attempt to steal this new technology. If you are not a machine, then perhaps they were successful. Please realize, you are Xenon's last hope.
Nothing happens. no! The door has shut, and there's no way back. What are you going to do now? This is a section of the Xenon sewer system. Fortunately, there seems to be very little of the secret ingredient usually associated with sewers. You have an empty jar. There's a small vent set into the side of the sewer tunnel. Unfortunately, it looks way too narrow for a space janitor, even a skinny one, to squeeze inside. A blob of slime has gained an attraction for you. Is the green, viscous, congealed wad of bile helper bent on your destruction? Or is it just a friendly puddle of scum looking for a new friend? Dare you find out? Okay. You scoop up the slimy secretion. Better get away now before it scoops you up. A sturdy metal ladder is attached to the wall here. At the top of the ladder there appears to be something resembling the underside of a manhole cover. A sleek patrol transport occupies the area presently. This seems to be a relatively spacious landing gear compartment. Wonder how cramped it gets in there when the gear is stowed. This seems to be a relatively spacious landing gear compartment. Wonder how cramped it gets in there when the gear is stowed. This is the middle section of the supercomputer's landing bay. The ship you hitched a ride on rests here. This is the patrol shuttle you hitched a ride on.
I've just completed a scan of the Labion sector of Space Quest 2. No sign of presence at this time. Grrrr, schluff, urrup.
Mega seed of that. Zavo fila zagold.
You're sitting inside a time machine, remember? That's your head, Roger. Now use it for something. You look out at the city you were born in decades ago. You're sure glad you weren't there when this devastation happened. You might have gotten hurt. On the bright side, you won't have to pay those delinquent traffic tickets. The readout displays some interesting symbols similar to those on the keypad. You wonder if these might bear some significance. A standard time pod headrest. Not very comfortable, but the regular operators have metal heads, so it's not a concern for them. The powerful quad quark drives Rev to life. Time and space bend under the fibrillations of the time-rip transfluxers. Your adrenaline and stomach reel with the hyperbolic hyperbole. And finally... This view provides a flashback to a recent adventure. It looks real hot out there. Hot enough for thermo-weave underwear.